Hear it as it happens on Oklahoma City's only 100,000-watt talker. We're the new Freedom 96.9, freedom969.com, and on the Freedom app, Oklahoma's talk radio. Freedom
Weather.
Here's your Oklahoma City AccuWeather forecast. Today, expect plenty of sunshine with breezy conditions in the afternoon, reaching a high of 61. Tonight will be partly cloudy with a low of 33. Tomorrow will start with sun and areas of high clouds in the morning, then become mostly cloudy in the afternoon with a high of 58. By Monday, anticipate breezy conditions with clouds giving way to sun and a high of 66. With your Oklahoma City AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
We interrupt our program with a special bulletin.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast are solely those of the speakers and other contributors. These views and opinions do not necessarily represent those of this station.
Broadcasting live from the command center of Freedom 96.9 in Oklahoma City, it's McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma. Saving lives, protecting property, fortifying Oklahoma, one roof at a time. I'm Rick Allen Lippert, here with Hague Certified Master Level Damage Inspector, Oklahoma Licensed Public Adjuster, Fortified Evaluator, and IBHS Fortified Roofing Contractor, Scott McCullum.
Hey, thank you, sir.
Hague Certified Wind and Commercial Roofing Inspector Scotty McCullum has the day off, and in his place is declared candidate for Insurance Commissioner Chris Meredith.
Good morning.
Retro Radio Randy, still on probation today. Yeah, he's running the show, so if you want to talk to him, you'll have to call 405-608-4377. We are live streaming the show on the McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma YouTube channel. We're also live streaming the audio on freedom969.com. We'll start as usual with our trivia question and other interesting tidbits, including the word of the week. The number to call for that trivia question is 405-608-4377. Later, we'll hear Scott's view from the rooftop, or actually view from the boardroom, where he spends more time these days. And we'll have some after the storm tips brought to you by Roof RX. And we'll wrap up with Dad's Wisdom. Coming back from breaks, some genuinely obscure historical trivia. Now, as you know, Chris, we're required to say a legal notice at the start and end of each show. What you may not know is how sneaky Scott's lawyer is to remind me every week to do that. For instance, this week I was Christmas shopping and just happened to stop by some random kiosk at the mall. Bought something, printed on the receipt. It said, remember to say that S&CM LLC, doing business as McRoof.us, legally operates under Oklahoma registration number 8000002, and that the registration applies to both residential and commercial roofing. I don't know how he does that.
That's scary. Scary.
So as I mentioned, Chris Meredith sitting in with us. Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into the show and get to the trivia question.
Sure, thanks. 25 years in the insurance industry, various roles. I started as an adjuster 20 plus years ago, and kind of moved all over the claims area, then got into government affairs from there, which taught me how changes in the government system can help everyone in the process.
Okay. All right, Scott, our trivia question today.
Okie dokie. So, the show is about fortifying Oklahoma. So what state led the nation, had the most IBHS fortified designations in 2025? Is it A, Oklahoma, B, Louisiana, C, North Carolina, or D, Alabama?
If you think you know the answer to that question, give us a call, 405-608-4377. The winner will get their choice of either books, Raving Fans, or Unreasonable Hospitality, or 2 free tickets to any Carpenter Square Theater production this season. Now, we're done for calendar 2025 at Carpenter Square, but the first show next season in January is a charming, poignant story called Pictures from Home.
Pictures from home.
A photographer's son spent about 10 years documenting his parents. And these are photos. Where you see the actual photos he took. We have, of course, an actor playing the photographer and the parents. But it's a slice of their life. That's
When does that start, Rick?
It starts. I know you're going to ask. Mid January. I think January 16th. Runs through February 1st.
Okay, very good.
And it's very funny. It's very poignant. It's a charming story. Funny, but there are some dramatic parts. Anyway, the trivia question: which state had the most IBHS fortified designations in this calendar year of 2025? Oklahoma, Louisiana, North Carolina, or Alabama? And don't let football get into the way of that answer.
I didn't even think about that.
I was trying to keep my face on.
Oh, man.
405-608-4377.
I thought we weren't going there today, Rick.
We didn't. We didn't.
I'll be going there.
Okay, so I almost did it. Scott, the
all right.
word of the week.
The word of the week is antagonist, and there's a reason that I chose this word, and I think that Mr. Meredith will be able to lay into this a little bit. We'll be able to talk about some of these things, about kind of what has become of the insurance restoration space. He used to be an adjuster. He understands. So one that contends with or opposes another, an adversary, an opponent. I call them personally combatants.
Yeah.
And that's what it has become in the insurance restoration in the claims space, and it's not what it should be. I want to read this. In the drama of the real world, it's especially hard to sort out which is which, being antagonist or protagonist. So we usually speak of both parties as antagonists. So I speak of the parties as the combatants.
Yes.
Okay? And I would like to end the combat.
Ah.
I really would.
Well, you know,
And Chris would too.
in literature, in screenwriting, playwriting, novel writing, you have the protagonist,
Right?
commonly referred to as the hero,
Usually the main character.
the main character, and the antagonist,
Right.
the one who was working to keep the protagonist from achieving their goal.
Mm-hmm.
And we commonly refer to the antagonist as the bad guy,
Yeah. Yeah.
the hero and the bad guy.
Yeah, the pro and the ant have a good and a bad slant to them.
They do indeed.
And in fact, in the space, the reason that I wanted to use this word is those are interchangeable roles. Those are interchangeable
Exactly.
labels.
Yeah.
Someone that one day you would consider to be on the right side of things, the next day is the one that's doing everything that they shouldn't be doing.
Exactly.
And vice versa. And all through, whether you're talking about a contractor, whether you're talking about a consumer, whether you're talking about an adjuster, whether you're talking about a carrier, a desk adjuster, or anything, those roles at any point in time, it could be that they go from being the good guy to being the bad guy.
Right.
You know, and the point of the whole thing is what we've talked about for years, Rick. I live on the edge of the coin, and the edge of the coin is that place where we rely on the contract, we rely on the duties of the parties, and I expect my consumers, my clients, to honor their obligations to the carrier, and I'm absolutely going to fight the carrier to honor their obligations to my client. That's the edge of the coin, and I think that's where McRoof lives. That's where I live. That's where I want the majority of the space to live, and I think that we're really moving the needle in that direction. I think people understand we cannot continue waging war day in and day out the way that we've been doing it for the last 10, 12, 15 years. It still is getting worse, but it's got to get worse before it will get better. But I can see the things, I can see the conversations, I can hear the tone, and I know that everyone knows it has to change.
Very good. Our trivia question, please call soon if you're going to call, because we think we have some people lined up to call and talk to Chris.
And we only have 40 phone lines here.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, right. we do have a good solid piece of string between those two Dixie cups. But the number is 405-608-4377. Which state had the most IBHS fortified designations in 2025? Oklahoma, Louisiana, North Carolina, or Alabama? 405-608-4377. So we have 2 minutes before we go to break.
So, Chris, one of the things really interesting to me when I got the email from Fortified, and I was the basis for our trivia question. I think we have a caller. We might get an answer. But this whole idea about how quickly Louisiana has grown their program.
Yeah, that's it's amazing, and they celebrated their 10,000th designation in November, reaching that milestone roughly 18 months after crossing 1,000. And that's the kind of thing that we need to do in Oklahoma, is put the thing on warp speed.
So they went from an infancy in their grant program, achieved 1,000 over, I think it was about 3.5 years, and then within another 10 or 12 months went from 1,000 to 10,000.
Right.
That's incredible.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
We have Mary on the line to answer the trivia question. Hello, Mary. Which state do you think had the most IBHS fortified designations this year? Oklahoma, Louisiana, North Carolina, or Alabama?
I'd say Oklahoma because of all the hints you guys gave.
Oh, Mary, we wish that your answer was correct. We really do. But Oklahoma is lagging behind. But
we just started, Art.
Yeah, we just started, and we're hoping that we'll grow. I almost hate to use the word, Chris, but we're hoping we'll grow like wildfire, quite honestly, with our high wind and hail designated roof program in Oklahoma. That's what needs to happen.
I thought you were going to say using the word hope, because hope is not a strategy. You have to have a strategy to make it happen.
Mary,
Now, I have a question for you guys. Do
Yes,
you ever
ma'am.
go to the, like Francis Tuttle or Metrotech, to their carpentry, their house framing business classes, and say this is a new phenomenon?
You know, Mary, that is a fabulous question. I'll tell you the relationships that I personally and RoofRx have with Francis Tuttle. RoofRx is actually an instructor for Francis Tuttle. Chris Gernera, who has recently left my company and gone to Legacy Labs, was the drone instructor for Francis Tuttle. He built that drone program for them, and we are now talking with them about inserting another one of my RoofRx people into that spot as the drone instructor, and we're building out all of the roofing space from a training platform through RoofRx with Francis Tuttle. But we have not specifically been into the carpentry space with them.
Mary, good question. We have to go to break. Thank you so much. Thank you for playing the game. We still have 3 answers available. Which state had the most IBHS fortified designations in 2025? Now, is it Louisiana, North Carolina, or Alabama? 405-608-4377. You're listening to McRoof Fortifies, Oklahoma. Live radio Saturday morning, Freedom 96.9.
We don't just build roofs, we build relationships.
Anybody you talk to in their office is their family, and they treat you like family.
Trust is the #1 thing that we have to establish early on in the process. We treat people as if they are family.
When my son became very ill and had to be meta-flighted to another state, Wanda was on the phone with me. Hey, what's going on? How can we help? We'll pray for your family. What else can we do to help your family? Just let us know. For somebody to do that basically, quote unquote, only put on a roof, that's unheard of.
No one feels like they were just a transaction to us.
We're always here, and we want to be here for people who need us.
We build relationships with our clients that last way past the life of their roof.
They deal with the insurance company for you, which is so nice and helpful.
One of the most important things that I prioritize is setting the right expectation, what they can expect from their insurance carrier, what ducks need to be lined up to make sure their project reaches the outcome that they desire.
I'm on the phone most of the day, talking with insurance companies, trying to resolve a claim that has not been paid correctly. We don't give up.
They were able to come out and give a full, in-depth inspection. That process ultimately led to a doubling of the claim.
He probably got me at least on this roof $50,000 more by my calculation than I would have gotten with the other roofers.
It goes far beyond what a normal roofing company would do. We're going to do it right.
McRoof Fortifies, Oklahoma, back on the air on this date in 1790. Of this date of December 20th, 1790, the first successful U.S. cotton mill began spinning yarn in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. And then on this date of December 20th, 1803, the French flag was lowered in New Orleans to signify the formal transfer of the Louisiana Purchase from France to the United States that we purchased for $15 million. Yeah, pretty amazing. Essentially doubling the size of the country.
That in Alaska, man. That's
Yeah.
just amazing.
Okay, we have Barbara on the line. Hello, Barbara. So you get three choices. Which state had the most IBHS fortified designations this year? Louisiana, North Carolina, or Alabama?
I'm going to say Louisiana.
Oh. So sorry. There we go.
Hey, Barbara, I tell you what, that's a great answer. As we said, Louisiana has grown their grant program. They grew from 1,000 designations to 10,000 designations in about 18 months. So when I give you the number for the state that actually had the most designations last year, you'll understand that your answer has to have been extremely close. Louisiana.
Well, you were hinting about Louisiana, so I was hoping that was
Well, yeah, and just for those of y'all, my wife is from South Louisiana, okay? I don't even say Louisiana. It's Louisiana to me, so.
And I've got to self-disclose. My husband teaches at Francis Tuttle, so I was really excited for you to promote Career Tech and Metro Tech.
Oh my gosh, we are so excited about what we can do at Francis Tuttle. We really are.
Well, let me tell you one more thing. I just got to put it on the air. He's in his 60s. He's still teaching there, but he won in August the Oklahoma Career Tech Teacher of the Year. He beat out all the teachers in the whole state, and I'm so proud of him. He teaches criminal justice at Francis Tuttle Reno campus. His name is John Loudermilk.
Oh my gosh, we're so proud of him too. Thank you so much, Barbara, for sharing that. And man, give him a pat on the back from us, and we appreciate everything that he's done for all of these years. That is phenomenal.
Well, it tells me that the next two listeners, all they got to pick is a 50-50 chance because there are only 2 states left.
You got it.
That's right.
You got it.
That's right.
Barbara, thanks so much for being out there this morning. We appreciate you very much, and keep listening and keep playing, okay?
All right.
All right, dear. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara.
Oh, wow. That is so cool about her husband.
Yeah. All right. So, for those of you still wanting to play the game, you have better chances now than ever. Which state has had the most IBHS fortified designations in 2025? Is it North Carolina or Alabama? 405-608-4377.
Wow. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my week of building fortified roofs.
Do tell.
Okay. One of the things that I just don't think, and Chris and I talk about this a lot, one of the biggest bridges we have to cross is getting the contractors on board. And we have to get the contractors on board. And let me just tell you, from a roofing contractor, roofing company standpoint, The biggest challenge for them, we live in a subcontractor world, all right? We don't have employees that we can direct and tell and show them. We live in a subcontractor world, and getting that roofing subcontractor that has the interest in the willingness to learn to do something different, that is a huge challenge for the industry right now. And I can tell you that there are a whole lot of people that have come to me saying, oh yeah, we can build a fortified roof. All right, well, prove it to me. So they come to my driveway and we mock up a roof and we hand them the nail guns and all the materials, and it becomes pretty obvious in about 15 or 30 seconds that they really don't have a clue how you build a fortified roof. The reality of it is that...
Are you saying that they think fortified is just an adjective?
I think that's exactly right. They don't think it's a prescription. They don't think that it's the doctor's orders that have to be followed.
Right.
Okay, and that's a real problem. So the simple fact is that it takes 2 to 3 times as long to build a fortified roof as it does to build a normal, what I will call a normal roof. All right. And all the steps that you have to go and all the documentation that has to be provided, and literally they can't get on a roof and just start building a roof and just keep on moving. At every step of the process, they have to stop. All the documentation has to be gathered, the photographs have to be taken, tape measure has to be put on the roof, on the nails, everything has to be measured, quantified, documented. And then you go to the next step. So you start out, clean deck, then you go to deck nailing, attachment. Nothing can happen until you have the photo documentation required for deck attachment. Once they've done deck attachment, they can now tape the deck.
Well, and also the right nails in those.
That's part of the photo documentation.
Yeah.
Is a tape measure on the nails showing and the boxes. And then you go to tape. All right, now you have to finish taping an entire plane of a roof before they can move to the next step, which is putting their underlayment on. Then you have to finish putting underlayment on, show that it is properly attached with the ring shank nails like it's supposed to be, photo documentation before they can move to the next step, which is putting the drip edge on. They put the drip edge on. You have to have the photo documentation of the right drip edge, the right overlap, the right nailing patterns, everything done the way it's supposed to be done. Now they can install the starter. Now they can install the starter. You have to get the starter on. You have to have the photograph showing that it's not overhanging the roof because the wind will pick it up. Has to be the right starter products, everything done the right way. Photograph, document that. Now they can move to putting the first course of shingles on. Okay, so it's just, and they're used to flying all over a roof all the time with different people doing different things. You cannot do that in a fortified roof system. You will end up with people doing something that is not up to the standard, that is not to prescription, that will either have to be redone or that home will not be designated.
And I wanted to ask you, mention when you talk about crews flying all over a roof, as I have seen roofs go on in the past, the processes that you're describing now on a fortified, a step has to be completed and documented before the next step of that process can begin.
On a plane of a roof. In other words, we take it plane by plane.
Right.
All right. So someone could be over on the back side of the roof doing a different part of it, but they have already gone through the progression. But a plane has to be step by step, nail it down, seal it up, lock it in, underlayments, everything done exactly right before starter and strip shingles start going on it.
As opposed to starting and then just kind of incrementally working your way up.
On a roof with a big plane, typically what you'd see They clean deck it. They're not nailing it down. They clean deck it, and the next thing that happens, they're starting to put drip edge on because they're used to the drip edge going on before the underlayment. They're starting to roll underlayment out. As soon as that first row of underlayment goes on, somebody's starting to put starter shingles on and then nail shingles.
Yeah. And you can't do it that way.
You cannot do that with Fortified.
That means, this sound means that we're about to go to news break at the bottom of the hour. We'll be back with McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma on the second half of the show. 405-608-4377. Avery is on the line. He's the executive director of the Oklahoma Roofing Contractors Association. We'll be talking to him when we come back.
Make the new Freedom 96.9 your first choice for the latest news and trending stories. We're the new Freedom 96.9 and Freedom969.com, Oklahoma's talk radio. Freedom
Weather. Here's your Oklahoma City AccuWeather forecast. Today expect plenty of sunshine with breezy conditions in the afternoon, reaching a high of 61. Tonight will be partly cloudy with a low of 33. Tomorrow will start with sun and areas of high clouds in the morning, then become mostly cloudy in the afternoon with a high of 58. By Monday, anticipate breezy conditions with clouds giving way to sun and a high of 66. With your Oklahoma City AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
We interrupt our program with a special bulletin.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast are solely those of the speakers and other contributors. These views and opinions do not necessarily represent those of this station.
McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma back on the air for the second half of this morning's live call-in show on Freedom 96.9. And you know we are live streaming on 969.com. And also, you can see this riveting radio on the McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma YouTube channel. On this date of December 20th, 1879, Thomas Edison privately demonstrated his incandescent light bulb, Menlo Park, New Jersey. And then 1 year later, New York's Broadway, now lit by electricity, became known as the Great White Way.
Wow.
That's where that phrase came from.
Yep.
Okay, on the phone with us, joining us, live in studio, we have Insurance Commissioner candidate Chris Meredith joining us on the telephone right now. Oklahoma Roofing Contractors Association Executive Director Avery Smith. Hello, Avery.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me on. How y'all doing?
We're doing great, Avery. How you doing?
You know what? I can't complain. Other than it was
Don't,
a rough
don't,
loss
don't,
for my Sooners last
don't,
night.
don't
But
even go there. Don't even go
that's
there.
enough of that. Enough of that.
So, Avery, we've got we've got Chris sitting here this morning, and I wanted the two of you to kind of have a little conversation a bit about some of the ideas and the things that we've looked at from an Orca standpoint and from Chris's standpoint in terms of that insurance space and OID and all of that, about the collaboration and things that we see and kind of paths forward for us as an industry. Why don't you guys jump in there and just jump all over that?
Sure, I can just kind of throw it out there. Chris, thanks for coming on and being such a passionate, really kind of an advocate for both industry and consumers, just trying to come up with solutions. I think you're an advocate for solutions. I think that's what we need. And Orca shares that mindset. We want to figure out real world solutions, not continue to do things business as usual. Business as usual is costing people a lot of money and frustration. And so that's why we need to have these conversations. And I just appreciate your engagement and passion.
I appreciate it, Avery. And, listening to people on the front line doing the work is extremely important. If someone wants to be a leader, I learned that a long time ago. But I did want to bring up OU Alabama. Because I'll tell you something. As an offensive lineman, I'll just tell you what I saw. The refs sucked. Okay. And it was easy for Alabama's quarterback to make throws when his offensive line was holding our Mason Thomas every single play. No calls.
You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to clothesline around the neck.
Right. No oversight.
That's
just
illegal.
Chaos. and here's where I got to with this when I was thinking about it. The roofing insurance system is the same. It's acting like a parking lot pickup game with no rules. You got bad roofers. You got insurance companies, that are appearing to be not pay claims that are legit. Homeowners are stuck in the middle with premiums hitting some of the highest in the nation. And then some like to say, like, the commissioner is just some referee in the insurance system. Well, actually, they're not. It's a commissioner. And the commissioner sets the rules of the game, hires the referees, and protects the integrity for everyone. And so I have a message for the players breaking the rules. Oversight's coming. I'm going to install more refs, instant replay, broadcast the game for everyone to see. And those inflating expenses you didn't incur, doing shoddy work, hurting Oklahomans, keeping your promises, you got one more year. And those denying the fair payouts, everyone's going to know. But the key here is that we shine the light on the system and that we understand and get data as to what's happening, and then we go fix it.
Wow.
Absolutely. I think you talked about broken systems is what you're talking about, and those broken systems you cannot continue to have business as usual. You got to fix them.
That's right.
So, what is your view, Chris, on this kind of free market approach, and how do you look at this? Do you think Oklahoma has plenty of insurance carriers, or do you think that we need more carriers in the state of Oklahoma? How do you look at that?
I'm looking at it from a product perspective.
Okay.
It's not necessarily a carrier perspective. So I was talking to somebody in the industry the other day who said we didn't have a market problem. And I said, well, actually, though, we have a product offering problem.
Okay.
If you can't go get an RCV policy that you want on a 10-plus-year-old roof.
Okay.
I mean, we used to have them. They're gone. Or if you had, you wanted a low deductible, everything started at $1,000, $2,000. Now we've got 2%, 3%, 5% deductibles, and those are slowly going away. Those products there's a competition problem because that product is no longer here, or it's very, you can't find it. So that's kind of how I'm viewing it. We're seeing the products go further and further. Coverage is shrinking, prices going up. So affordable, effective coverage is the product that's going away,
gotcha.
In my view. And now I'm hearing people excluding, roofs entirely.
Right.
As the next level.
Right. Right.
Well, what we have over 100, there are about 100 insurance companies that are actually licensed to write homeowner policies in Oklahoma. and probably about half those are actually have policies enforced in the state. But of those, I think there's about 60% between just a handful of companies, and I think that can present an issue too. You know, I don't want to dive too deep into that over the radio, but you know, I agree with Chris. I think on that front, and then what he just mentioned. But I also believe that there is probably still some room for some greater competition in the state.
Well, Avery, from our standpoint in the industry, Avery, we talk about that. We realize that we're moving to a market that is more resembles a retail marketplace than an insurance restoration marketplace.
Correct.
The cash part of it, out of pocket of a consumer, is we don't know what it's going to be, but we know it's going to get larger and larger and larger. With the deductibles and with the limitations in coverage and things like that. So the idea of people contractors being able to say, oh, yeah, I'll just do it for whatever the insurance company's going to pay you. And by the way, that deductible, don't worry about that. That's gone. That there is no way that a roofing contractor can, use that model and survive financially. You just there's no money left in it. You just can't.
Not for the long term, Scott. I think that I think we're always going to have a segment of this industry that's driven by the insurance market, but not at the levels we've become accustomed to over the years. That is changing. It's inevitable. It's not sustainable. And I think, why can't we do a better job of innovating? And I'm not just talking about the roofing contractors among us. I'm talking about all the factors around us. There are insurance companies out there now offering deductible insurance. I mean, now that's a pretty creative idea.
Yep.
A lot of people don't even know about it. And that is, when you've got $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 deductibles, the idea of a deductible insurance policy is kind of interesting. Let's talk more about those kind of things too.
Those are good products. I know a lot of people selling them, and the way they've told me how it works is it doesn't necessarily lower your out of pocket for the insurance consumer, but it does get your coverage back.
Yes.
Maybe even.
Yes. It's a good stopgap. It's not the end all be all, but hey, people are thinking at least. That's what we need to be thinking about solutions, not continuing to do business the same old way.
Absolutely.
So, Avery, where are we on our legislation? I understand that there's been some, there may be some delay coming down the road in terms
so House Bill 1628, the residential roofing endorsement bill, was passed by the House and Senate during the 2025 legislative session.
And signed into law, or it just became law?
It was signed into law. The governor neither signed it nor vetoed it.
There we go. But it became law.
So it became law. Essentially, within a few days of being put on his desk, it became law. So the original, we'd worked with the CIB on an original implementation date. Normally what would happen is when a bill is signed like that, it goes into effect November 1st of this year. It should already be in effect. The CIB has got some challenges with systems, aged systems.
Construction Industries Board,
Correct, the Construction Industries Board. And so we agreed to work with them to extend that to originally to July 1st of 2026. Well, it turns out that there's continued issues with some of those systems that are going to cause some delays, and so they've requested a extension of that date to January 1 of 2027. So we're not real thrilled about that. We want to work with the CIB. We want to get this in place and enforce and start protecting homeowners, as quickly as possible. And so we're working with the CIB to get these things done. But that's where it stands now. That's going to have to be fixed in statute, by the way.
Well, that's what I was going to say. What are the mechanics of that? I mean, I think the legislation actually dictated when that would go into effect. So that's got to be fixed.
Yeah, that will be fixed during the 2026 legislative session.
Okay.
There'll have to be some language proposed to amend that original agreement. The CIB and ORCA have been working together to get that done. So that will happen during 2026 to extend that. And then there will be a grandfathering period of a year once that bill goes into full effect January 1 of 2020.
So is there really a sentiment to extend that, Avery? Because I got to tell you, what I hear from the construction space, from the home builder space, from a whole lot of different places, I would tell you that there's a whole lot of people that would not be in favor of giving CIB much room.
Well, I can, Scott, in the interest of being, what's the word I want to use?
Politically correct.
I
knew you were going there.
I have one answer for you that I can talk about over
on the
radio,
air. Okay.
I have another answer.
Okay.
That I'll talk to you about later.
You don't have to say.
If you read between those lines.
Okay.
What I would say is that we need to really look very deeply at our systems and oversight and make sure those are working most efficiently for homeowners and for contractors. I'll leave it at that.
Gotcha. Avery, we got to take a break, buddy. I appreciate you calling. Thank you so much. And
well, thank you. Thank you, Chris.
I'll see you on Monday.
See you, Avery.
That was Avery Smith, Executive Director of the Oklahoma Roofing Contractors Association. You're listening to McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma on Freedom 96.9. Our trivia question still out there. Which of these two states had the most IBHS fortified designations this year, North Carolina or Alabama? 405-608-4377. Homer Stacy was a wholesome, good American kid from Texas. At the age of 18, he enlisted in the United States Army Horse Cavalry and was stationed at Fort Bliss. Homer was fascinated with aircraft, so he went to flight school and became an Army Air Corps pilot. Homer Stacy flew a Convair B-24 Liberator, the Yankee Doodle Dandy, on November 11, 1943, when his crew, along with 31 other bombers, destroyed a ball-bearing plant in occupied France. On a return trip, a mechanical failure caused the Yankee Doodle Dandy to drop out of formation, leaving it vulnerable, and shortly thereafter, 7 German Me-109s shot down the plane near Andano, Italy. 4 crew members were killed on board, the others parachuted. 1 was captured and taken prisoner. Homer was among the remaining 5 who made it to Switzerland and returned to duty. Homer Stacy survived World War II, the Korean War, and retired after 23 years of service with many awards and commendations, including the Distinguished Flying Cross, the Purple Heart, and multiple air medals. Homer Stacy McCollum, Scott McCollum's dad. Scott McCollum is McRoof. McRoof.us is owned and operated by the McCollum family, an honorable, trustworthy red, white, and blue family. If you want to fortify your property, call McRoof.us at 405-877-4663. Ask for your complimentary roof inspection performed by a credentialed Hague residential inspector. McRoof.us, saving lives and protecting property by fortifying Oklahoma one roof at a time. McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma back on the air for the final segment of this morning's live program on Freedom 96.9. On this date of December 20th, 1893, the first state anti-lynching statute was approved in Georgia. And then a shout out to KWTV News 9 in Oklahoma City, because on this date of December 20th, 1953, they began broadcasting. And then 4 years later, 1957, Elvis Presley received his draft notice to join the U.S. Army for national service during the peacetime draft. And that episode of his life resulted in the movie called G.I. Blues, which I saw as a young boy on a Saturday morning in Atlanta, Georgia, for 25 cents.
All right.
So we have Daryl on the line to answer the trivia question. Hey, Daryl, your choice of 2 states, North Carolina or Alabama, which one had the most IBHS fortified designations this year?
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to take a wag at it. but I think it's going to be in North Carolina.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yay, Daryl.
Way to go, Daryl. How'd you do that, buddy?
Well, I just got to think about the fact that North Carolina is being hit with so many hurricanes and stuff like that. I figured that they were the ones that were going to lead the way in doing the fortifying of the roofs.
Well, that's phenomenal. That's a great logic, and you got the right answer. Let me tell you that Alabama has traditionally led the way in fortified. In Alabama anymore, if you are not a fortified contractor, a fortified roofing contractor, consumers won't even talk to you because that's how well fortified has entrenched in the state of Alabama. But North Carolina had the most designations this year, 7,000 or so designations in North Carolina. Doesn't sound like a big number, but it's a big number, a big impact. And then Louisiana followed closely thereafter. So very good, Daryl.
Okay.
Hey, what kind of diesel's that I hear in the background?
Well, that is actually a 23 Tacoma, Toyota Tacoma.
Oh, okay.
I just got a little fortified muffler.
Okay, I got you.
See what you did there.
Got you. All right.
Hey, Daryl, stay on the line so Randy can get.
Hey, we
your
appreciate
digits.
you, Daryl. Thanks so much.
And by the way, Scotty, I want to thank your dad for his service in the Air Force.
Oh man, I thank you so much for saying that, Daryl. I appreciate it. I say my prayers and thank him every single day. Okay.
And I did 20 years in the Air Force myself.
Well, that's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. Thank you, Daryl.
All
We
right.
appreciate your service.
Take care.
All right. God bless.
Okay.
And stay on the line. We hope it.
So I'm going to jump real fast. I want to do my view from the rooftop.
Okay.
Okay.
And Randy's busy.
Yeah,
so
he's busy. So that's why I
push the
said,
button.
and I want to be sure I leave Chris some time. Okay. So my view from the rooftop is the missing ingredient is.
Okay.
The missing ingredient in everything that I do, that everything that happens in the insurance restoration, in the claims and insurance carrier intersection is trust. The missing ingredient is trust. No one trusts anyone else in that ecosystem. Carriers don't trust contractors. I'll be honest with you, carriers don't necessarily trust consumers. Consumers don't trust contractors. Consumers don't trust carriers. Producers don't know who to trust. They're stuck in the middle of the mess. Everyone has issues, and everyone needs to take the view, whatever you do, we don't write insurance. We don't sell insurance. We don't sell roofs. We save lives, we protect property, and we mitigate risk for everyone. That is the view that allows you to quit being antagonists, to quit being combatants, and to become collaborators in a singular purpose.
And for those who have tuned in since the beginning of the show, our word of the week was antagonist. So Gwen Scott just won $100.
So the issue of trust comes from the data and the information that is available. And there is a lot of information available, but information is biased. Information is misused. Information is altered and changed to work towards the end purpose of whoever the other party is. So RoofRx is a company that has been created. You've heard us talk about RoofRx for years. RoofRx is born out of my experiences of insurance, construction, roofing, and everything that happens in that space in Oklahoma. All right? It is built to have a singular data set that is what we call the truth on the roof. It is unbiased data, and the way we have protected that lack of bias in the way that we collect, the way that we annotate, and the way that we assess and write prescriptions for what needs to be happening. This information can be used by underwriters, it can be used by loss prevention people, it can be used by claims people, it can be used by restoration contractors, roofing contractors, by producers, and by all types of consumers. Everyone that has a roof of any type, all right? It is this singular data package, the truth on the roof, that will allow us to all quit casting stones and lying to each other. It will allow us all to get into that place where we accept the data set as being truth, and now we collaborate together to save lives, protect property, and mitigate risk. The missing element is trust. And I have been working for the last 4 years to build that trust, to build that understanding of what can be, and that's Roof RX. I'd welcome everyone listening to go to roof-rx.com. If you're a consumer, there's a button on there for you to click about a property owner to see what Roof RX would be for you. That's life cycle management of a roof system. If you're in the insurance space, there's a button there for you to click and see what Roof RX can do for you from a producer or carrier space. And if you're a contractor, there's a button there for you to click and see what an in-network opportunity with Roof RX would look like for your company. So we can quit being combatants. We can begin being collaborators.
Very good. All right, Chris, we just have a few minutes left. We're going to let you bat cleanup.
All right. No more OU Alabama stuff, though. But what Scott's talking about is right up my alley, and that's why I keep calling this my Truth and Transparency Act. And it's the game changer because I want to create a roofing QA team at the insurance department that reviews insurance claims involved in roofing permanently, regularly. It's going to be licensed independent inspectors. We're going to storm audits, claims report carriers can trust, permanent engineering reviews, auditing adjusters and roofers for irregularities. Fraud on either side, refer to the Office of the Attorney General. And we're going to publish the results regularly. I'll report straight to the people of Oklahoma after every release. No secrets. Transparency is how we're going to rebuild trust. Got to get the data out there and so people know what's going on. Because right now, when I go talk to the homeowner, the agent, the roofer all across the state, they don't trust each other. So they don't know what's going on. There's just dispersions being cast back and forth. We got to get the results out there. OID has some of the most passionate, capable people in the state, and I'm going to empower them to get to the bottom of this with real data collection, first the facts, then the fix. So that's going to end the chaos and drop the premiums, and that's just kind of where we've got to get to. I mean, we've got to rebuild trust. People are paying more for their insurance than their mortgage in some cases. Oklahoma deserves better. My act is going to tell the stories through data and action, and that's why I'm running. And I had 14,000 people on my TikTok lately. They said enough. They've had enough.
Yeah.
And so if you want to join that team, email me fix to Chris at chrismeredith4ok.com, and let's rebuild trust together.
And you're running for state insurance commissioner.
Yes, sir.
And this is kind of your platform here.
And we have a field of how many at this point, Chris?
There are 4
candidates.
Yes.
Okay. And so this we'll have a primary election, right?
Primary election June 16th, 2026.
All right.
All right, I need to jump in here before we run out of time and say S&CM LLC, doing business as McRoof.us, legally operates under Oklahoma registration number 8000002, and that the registration applies to both residential and commercial roofing. All right, final words, Scott. Not Dad's wisdom, just wrapping up.
Final words. Winter is coming. It is time. If you have not had your roof inspected, we do need to do that inspection, make sure we're going to get you through the winter and have you ready for the next storm season. So let's get up there and get on that roof. Typically, people calling us right now are waiting about a week and a half to get their roof inspected. So
And
let's get it done now.
The number for roofrx.com is 405-877-7663. That's roof-rx.com. Okay, now Dad's wisdom.
All right. All you ever really have to sell is you.
That's right. This has been episode number 38 of McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma on Freedom 96.9. Thank you, Chris Meredith.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott McCullum.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, Retro Radio Randy.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays to
Merry
everybody.
Christmas.
I'm Rick Allen Lippert. We'll be back next week. Yes, everyone have a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next week.
KQOP Enid, Oklahoma City. Make the right choice and keep tuned to the new Freedom 96.9, your first choice for talk radio in Oklahoma.